Why, hello everybody. It's a Sunday night here in good old Disneyland, Florida. I'm here to talk to you about League of Legends rank system because it is probably the most satanic thing in the history of satanic things. Now, Season 6 is a wonderful, wonderful thing that just happened, and I'm doing my good old provisionals, good old 10 games of glory, and I lose the first one. I lose it pretty bad, and it's like, oh no. Mid lane fed really badly, and then everything went terrible from there. And the next 4 or 5 games, I win like straight in a row. It's like, oh, this is the best thing in the world. It's so easy. Riot, thank you for giving me this broken system where I'm gonna win all these games, and then like get placed really low anyway because my MMR is probably like trash or it reset or whatever happened in order for everyone to have bad ranks this season. And then we get to the 9th game, the most cancerous game I've played in a very long time. And it's sort of due to a lot of reasons here, and one of them being my internet. And within my promos, my internet has crashed several times, but we've been able to like recover from it. Now this was the biggest crash, and I was gone for 5 to 10 minutes in the middle of the game, and I was doing alright. I was like 1-0-1, and at the time of the crash, I was running away from like a Cho'Gath who was really fed, and I might have gotten away. I kind of doubt it, but I just died because, you know, my internet completely crashed. And then I was just sitting there rambling to myself, and I was like, okay, so like always, it's just gonna do this for a minute or two, then we're gonna jump back on, and no, it just kind of sits there for a really long time, and brother walks in my room, annoys me a little bit, and by the time he's gone, it's still kind of broken, and then out of nowhere, I just leave the game and jump back in, and then my internet's magically fine for some reason, and the whole world changed while I was gone. It's like coming out of the vault for the first time, like, what the fuck is going on? Everything's changed. So, our top lane Yasuo, in the time that I was gone, and during the time he was playing, he was up against Cho'Gath top lane. And this Yasuo wasn't doing very well. He got, like, one early kill on him, and then that was kind of it for Yasuo. Then he just started doing stupid things. Lee Sin came and ganked him, and got, like, the enemy Lee Sin ganked him a couple times, killed him, and it was just not going well. And me, Amumu jungle, I was just kind of like at the wrong places at the wrong time, and didn't work out very well. Then he also proceeds to do like stupid shit like getting caught and chasing, and just like pretty much giving up, and he ends up going like half his kills, like 5 to 10. It's like pretty much 1 to 2 kills versus deaths ratio or whatever, and he's just doing whatever the shit he wants. And so good old Jonathan, Titan Apprentice, is just running around mid lane Vel'Koz, his main that he's been winning with and ranked with me very hard. He's like going he's been going Vel'Koz mid, and he's been doing incredibly well. Now this game, he's all salty, he's all triggered, he's all tilted, and by the time I join, everyone except our ADC, his score is like completely shit. Now, when I join, I have like 1 kill, 1 death, 1 assist, and like I'm under leveled by like a couple levels, and I just can't really do anything because, hey, I didn't back for a while, so I had a lot of gold. So by the time I joined back, I had 3,400 gold. Just bought a Lysandre's and just ran mid and realized, hey, by the time I was still there, we had a top turret. Then when I rejoined, our inhibitor turret was like barely alive, and our mid inhibitor was gone, and like everything just was terrible. The world just completely ended while I was gone. By the time I got my Lysandre's, I was like, okay, let's try and get some gold. Now my entire jungle is pretty much gone because the enemy team is just like, hey, we're gonna take your jungle because it's ours now. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so. Then I have to start stacking like a million magic resist because their Orianna was like 1 and 2 or whatever. By the time I got back, it was like 8-3, and I was like, wow, you got pretty fed while I was, jerking off to the lack of internet I had, and that's really great. And so we ended up doing all right. We lasted a little bit, and then there were times where they were throwing themselves at us, so it was kind of like, hey, we might win if they just keep throwing their bodies at us. And there was one point in time, it was so good. They were doing Baron, and I tried to queue in, and it was this, oh no, that's like a bad idea. So I go around, and my team's with me, and it's like 3 of them doing Baron. So I end up ulting in, and then I'm able to kill Lee Sin so they don't have a smite, and then we're able to take the Baron. Well, no, we don't take the Baron, actually. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. My entire team keeps fighting. Jonathan dies somewhere in the fight, and he keeps telling me to continue doing Baron because it's really low health. I'm like, okay. But by the time I realized my health's like too low, and then everyone on my team is chasing instead of getting this Baron, and Baron had like 2,000 health, so I really wanted it, and I felt like, hey, I have smite, but no one's here, so I ended up dying to Baron, and it was like, oh no. And everyone, so we stopped their Baron, which was good, but we didn't gain it, and then we kind of aced them, so it was like alright, but that was like the only good part, and we just all died. And after that terrible loss, Jonathan's all salty, and he's just like, you want to do another one, question mark? And I'm just like, well, it's my 9th game, 10, one more game, it'll make my 10, and we'll just place me in good old bronze 4 or whatever. And while we're queuing up, we're just, having a good old queue, and we get into our lobby, we say whatever in chat, we get preferences, and Jonathan's picking, and I'm looking on my phone looking at Reddit, some random shit on Reddit, and it's his turn to pick, and I'm not paying attention, so it dodges. I'm like, oh, someone dodges, and I look up, and I press the queue up button, and it's like, hey, you can't queue up, your Titan Apprentice, he's dodged recently. And Jonathan, good old Jonathan, was actually in his promos to get into Silver 5, and we won like the 2 games we needed, and we lost the other 2, so this was his chance. And dodging while in your promos means it's a loss, so he pretty much screwed himself over real bad. And he realized, like, oh wait, I dodged, I'm in my promos. He just says bye and leaves. He leaves call, and I'm just like, oh, so maybe I should just play one last game, get my provisionals done, get that bronze 4. And I realized, no, let's not do that. Let's keep my blood pressure at a moderate rate before I just go off and stab myself in the dick with a knife. And now we're here on a Sunday night, lacking our provisionals. And yeah, so if you enjoyed that little ranked story and why ranked sucks, and this is probably the worst patch of League I've ever played, because people will get ahead in their team and then there's no recovering from it sometimes. So a bunch of my ranked games are just 20 minutes long, 20 to 30. So if you like that little story, this little adventure in good old League of Legends ranked, give me a like, give me a little comment, say, hey, I like this, and it'll make sure I know to do more of these little things. If you didn't like it, give me constructive criticism and say like, hey, you should do better in this and that, and I'll be like, alright, and that's good. Thank you, friends.